I heard him running up behind me. And I was like, oh my gosh. Still couldn't control my reaction. Pathetic. I'm such a loser.
Just wait until we get some viewers. Let all the guys pop back on. That got kicked off. Joseph Schultz, we're all back.
Joseph Schultz, welcome back.
I'm probably going to lose this jacket momentarily because I'm like, it's like pulling on me.
What are you supposed to be anyway?
Memento Mori.
Oh,
seriously?
Okay, that's right. Yeah, there's a theme behind this episode.
Dance Macabre.
Dance Macabre.
What? I took 2 years of French.
Memento. It shows.
I took 8 years. I forgot all
You took
of it.
8 years.
I took
French?
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, between high school and college and middle school. Yeah.
I took 2 years in middle school and said screw this.
I
was
am
a
death.
waste.
The harbinger of death.
I used none of it.
Is that Chewbacca? Yeah, it's Chewbacca.
Yeah. First ginger Wookiee ever.
And I think it was Joseph Schultz asked, are you supposed to be Grumpy Passmaster? Because that's what you look like.
Yeah, baby. You nailed it. 100%. Grumpy PM.
There we go.
Supposed to be the professor from Gilligan's Island because I thought that's what we were doing. And then I show up and these guys.
We never said that. The
last episode we said we're
Pretty
all
sure
on our
that's what
own.
we talked about.
We talked about it.
talked about it.
did,
We're all
in
going to
fact,
show
talk
up and surprise one another. Of course, I couldn't.
You know, if we can agree on group Halloween costumes, how are we going to take over the world? Tell me how. How are we going to do this?
Let the Wookiee win, and we'll be fine.
Let the Wookiee win.
All right. We ready?
Yep.
It's fired up. Get rid of my jacket. You got it. Ready, brothers. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello and welcome to the Freemasons podcast. I am your host, Right Worshipful Brother George Mudry, and with me tonight,
Worshipful Brother Joe.
Worshipful Brother Ken.
Tonight's episode is going to be Dance Macabre,
Dance Macabre.
Memento Mori, and Freemasonry. Hope you guys did your homework.
I got nothing. I thought this was Dance Fever.
Oh my god!
I love how there's a hood too. That's great.
Completes the look.
All right, but a couple things. So when you listen to this on Apple iTunes, you're going to hear two different songs. And the first song that I have is actually a modern day song called Dance Macabre. And then at the end of the episode, it's about a 1.5 minute little clip of the actual original song of Dance Macabre. It's like something OP40 or something like that. It's a really good song.
OP40.
It's a classical song. I think it's I don't know. I've seen it on my Apple Music, and it's Dance Macabre OP.40. I don't know what OP stands for.
I don't know.
Maybe somebody else who's watching.
I've heard of UB40.
No, it's
Never heard
OP.
of OP40.
Opera 40? I don't know. But anyway, so oh, I touched my face. Damn it.
Wow.
Yeah. Makeup all over me. Anyway, we got some shout outs to do. Shah Karim. Oh, yeah. Karimian. I'm trying. George Antzelatos and Jesse Duncan. Oh, brothers, right hand arms.
To arms.
Ready.
Ready.
Aim.
Aim.
Fire. Good fire. Fire all. Hold on.
Misfire.
Cannon misfire.
Yep.
Together, brothers. Vivat, vivat, vivat. All right.
What was that?
Painful. Yeah, what was it, Joe?
That is proper 12 Irish whiskey. Smooth blend with hints of vanilla, honey, and toasted wood.
I didn't taste any of those things.
I didn't taste any of those things. I tasted pain.
I tasted only death. Memento Mori.
Figured we tried something a little different.
Ugh.
We still have the larceny if you prefer the larceny.
No, I mean, I can make do.
So, a couple things we just want to put out. We just were downstairs at Morningstar the other day, and we did a candy handout. We give out candy to the kids, and brother Mike Clavarino, brother Rockoff and Zeddy, and I think I know brother Rafferty was there, and I can't remember who else was there, but it was a nice little turnout. Little kids come around, we handed out candy. It's like good time. Like,
was that like is that a yearly thing that
it's
Seymour
a yearly
does?
thing that Seymour does.
Like they just shut down downtown and you have the kids come out, and that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And all the kids come down and they collect candy. Number 2, we'll talk about Peter Daigle, and he had in his event. I don't have it. I think he wrote it in the group me. Could you guys just read it out loud? And
Yep, I'm on it, boss.
Oh,
if you wouldn't mind. I'm trying to do as minimal movement as possible.
You had a cool picture too. We should see if we should.
Brothers, could you give a quick update on the event my lodge held on the next podcast? We raised $800 for helping others hurt from Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas. Fun fact, there were some serious bidding wars over Dean Smith's pens. It's turning into a vicious Price is Right bidding war.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah, that's we got a couple of his pens up here.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to ask him for some more because they're pretty cool. They're really nice. They're made out of acacia wood, and they got the square and compasses and everything. They're really nice pens.
Professionally made.
Mm-hmm. And so, Evening Thunder, Michael Corello.
Oh, what's up, Mike Corello? Buddy of mine. Thunder is my running nickname because I'm like slow and loud like thunder.
I would have went with your rectum, but whatever. We'll move on.
Whoa.
Thunder, farting all the time. Just don't fart in that thing.
Not in this thing. It all comes right through the neck. I've made that mistake. It's not well ventilated.
All right. So let's get into our topic. Dance Macabre, Freemasonry, and Memento Mori, and how it all kind of ties in together. Well, I'll start with Dance Macabre. Also known as the Dance of Death, is an artistic genre of allegory of the late Middle Ages on the universality of death. No matter one station in life, the Dance Macabre unites all. In other words, in the end, you're all going to die, no matter what your station all is.
Yep.
The Dance Macabre consists of the dead or a personification of death, summoning representatives from all walks of life to dance along to the grave, typically with a pope, emperor, king, child, or laborer. It was produced as Memento Mori to remind people of the fragility.
Yep, fragility.
Fragile. Must be Italian.
To remind people of the fragility of their lives and how vain were the glories of earthly life. Its origins are postulated from illustrated sermon texts. The earliest record visual scheme was a now lost mural at Holy Innocents Cemetery in Paris, dating from 1424 to 1425. So the concept and thought of Memento Mori actually predates Freemasonry. So that concept was kind of started to come about. I know the Catholic Church and religion used it extensively. It's kind of gotten away from the Catholic Church. They really don't talk about it as much anymore.
Well, it's the great equalizer, right? So you would think that would be even from early cultural tradition.
Interestingly enough, there is a church, and I think it's Austria. Ken, you might have to make sure of this, but it's a church that's basically made out of human bones. You know what I'm talking about, right? I know you guys have seen it before.
Seen the catacombs. I haven't seen the church.
No. There's a church. I want to say it's in Austria, or I'll have to.
This is an above ground church.
Above ground church. You walk in and there's this
human skeleton church. Wow, that's terrifying. The Sedlik ossuary is adorned with around 40,000 human skeletons.
Looks like it's in the Czech Republic.
Czech
you were
Republic,
close.
thank you.
It
is disturbing. Yeah, definitely look this up if you're interested, because it's an interesting read.
And it's an actual working still church.
Yep.
It's a church that's still around and kicking. They still.
So it's the interior that's decorated, like all of the normal accoutrement that you would see inside.
Accoutrement.
It's French.
Accoutrement.
Never mind. I don't know any words in Czech. But yeah, they're like legit like human bones all over the inside of this.
Yeah,
the inside of the church.
I mean, it's still used, but I don't think it's not used in like modern day churches. I mean, you wouldn't walk into a Catholic church now and see just skulls and crossbones all over the place. So
no, they don't really like images of death anymore.
No, they kind of got away with that because now it's y'all need Jesus, y'all get saved, right?
It's a moneymaker.
Whereas back in the Middle Ages, particularly around 1300s, 1400s, where all this kind of started to come about in the church, it was basically live your life good because you're eventually going to die and you're not going to get into the afterlife. You're not going to get into heaven, basically, is what the concept was. So let's see here. Dance Macabre, OP40, I was right, is a tone poem for orchestra written in 1874 by the French composer Camille Saint-Saëns. I'm pulling here.
Yves Saint Laurent? No?
Maybe. Saens.
Henri Richard?
Saens.
It is a key in G minor. It started out in 1872 as an art song for voice and piano with a French text by the poet Henri Casla.
Henri?
I'm going to ruin this. Caslias, which was based as an old French superstition. In 1874, the composer expanded and reworked the piece into the tone poem, replacing the vocal line with a solo violin part. And the solo violin part's creepy. It's kind of like how Beetlejuice starts off.
Oh,
with
okay.
That.
Are we allowed to play this or no?
I'm gonna do a 1 minute clip at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
kind of public domain now.
it's public domain. It's 1874. I mean,
Although when it's, when a new rendition is made, it is covered under copyright. But I'm sure you can find one that's.
I'm only doing a 1 minute clip, and if anything, I'm promoting them. So, the song "Dance Macabre" OP40, according to legend, Death appears at midnight every year on Halloween. Death calls forth the dead from their graves to dance with him while he plays his fiddle, right here represented by a solo violin. His skeletons dance for him until the rooster crows at dawn, when they must return to their graves. I mean, this is basically your precursor to Halloween right here.
No.
If you want to
Very
know,
pagan too.
very pagan. This is where it came from, for the most part. And yes, they must return to their graves until next year. The piece opens with a harp playing a single note, D 12 times, the 12 strokes of midnight, which are accompanied by soft chords from the string selection. Solo violin plays a tritone. Sorry, I can't read. It's the makeup. I'm blaming the makeup.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The fumes.
That's some serious makeup too. It doesn't look like the the expensive stuff that you
No.
get at like the classy stores.
No,
or
no,
something.
no.
This is
It's
like
Walmart right here.
Yeah, it's like straight up out of your
I think it's
what do they call the thing that you have all your camo paint in when you're in the military?
Oh,
There's a name for it. I
yeah,
can't think of what it
yeah.
is.
Just camel.
That's what that stuff looks like, though. It's like seriously oily, nasty.
Yeah.
Slop on your face.
It's going to take forever to get the shit off. I'll tell you right now. But
Ugh.
anyway, so that's pretty much
You
the
look
song.
like a Kiss reject.
Peter Chris.
Oh my god! Here we go.
Kind of. Or the guy that took over for him. The guy that had like the
I don't
Fox
know.
makeup. Eric Carr, I think his name was. Something like that. I don't know.
That's the only way I can think of.
You look like Teddy Ruxpin, and you're picking on me.
Teddy Ruxpin.
I'm just saying, you do.
I don't care.
All right. So the song goes on, and it's basically the song. It's the dance of death. It takes it from kind of like the ideology of what was going on around those times. It's like you had the Black Death that was coming around. You had so many bad things that were happening, and even at this point, when this song was kind of or the idea of Dance Macabre started coming around, I think that France didn't even have a king at this point, and the kingdom started to go into kind of disarray, and that's when the first thing had popped up about Dance Macabre, and it could have been a political. Basically, we're all going to die because there's no one running the show here.
Yeah, people were terrified. There was death, disease.
Mhm.
People had short lifespans,
Right,
and the monarchy was falling apart.
right.
I mean, it kind of makes sense in the context.
It's pretty much the same ideology of, oh my God, we're minutes from the apocalypse because everything's happening in the world now. So
I kinda think
it's going to
that
come any day.
These poor people didn't really need a reminder of mortality and death at that point, but I get it.
But if you're going to use that in a church sense, it's going to compel people to act more accordingly, or curb their actions based on, well, if I act like an ass in my current life, when I get to the afterlife, I'm going to be judged when I finally sit in front of God. So it's kind of the church's way of keeping everybody in line. And it wasn't really just a church thing. I think it was kind of just a movement toward it as well. Because again,
it was a philosophy. It was a mind shift of, hey, look, we're all going to die. Live your best life. Mm-hmm. I also see it as, no matter what level of prominence you reach in your life, keep it tempered, man, because you're just going to die like everybody else.
Right. And then to Ken's point, that he said, it's also got a lot of pagan stuff in there, because I mean, that's not really something that Catholic Church, it's not something they really went, that wasn't their whole, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's not canonical. It's not part of the church canon.
That's what I was looking for. Like, well, way to stick the canonical.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't a bishop that like put this entire thing together and was like, "Hey, this should do this around."
You could pass as Casey Kasem too. Actually, looking at your costume,
maybe that's what I was going for too.
Casey
and
Kasem.
Indiana Jones.
Didn't he wear? Wasn't
Casey the America's Top 40 guy?
Yeah, didn't he wear a leather jacket and a white shirt all the time? Wasn't that his thing? His shtick?
I think you're thinking of Fonzie, maybe.
Oh, he's definitely Fonzie. I called him Fonzie last time.
Well, that's what I was going for, Fonzie.
Casey Kasem, I don't think he wore that.
No.
He was like a little short guy.
You know what? I'm trying to be ambiguous in how I dress for Halloween so that you guys, the audience, can ascribe your own ideas.
Oh, that's nice of you, Ken.
I'm trying to be
a little audience participation. That's very nice.
Yep. Just up to you. You guys tell me what I am.
Just so you know, I know you're looking at me and you keep laughing because I look ridiculous, but
you really do.
The other thing, like one time I lost my heat for a little bit, and this thing is super warm. So I'm going around the house wearing this when we lost power and got freaking cold. So it doubles as a lot of things.
Can you do a good Chewbacca growl for us?
Maybe a little later.
Okay.
Maybe a little later.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin the don't smoke.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the other half of this. Memento Mori, which is Latin, and it means remember that you must die, is an artistic and symbolic reminder of the inevitability of death. The expression Memento Mori developed with the growth of Christianity, which emphasized heaven and hell and salvation for the soul in afterlife. And it is pretty much we were just already covering. But so how does it tie into Freemasonry? Well, I mean, we pretty much do the same thing in our chamber of reflection. It came into Freemasonry roughly around the York-Rite degrees, particularly the chivalric degrees of Malta and the Templary. That's where the chamber of reflection is most used in Freemasonry now, and the symbols of Memento Mori play a very big part in the Order of the Temple. But what do you guys have in your chamber of reflection, Joe?
We've got the skull. We've got the symbol for sulfur. We've got a rooster that represents Mercury. We've got some stuff painted up on the wall. Mm-hmm. We've got a scythe in there. I believe that's how they pronounce it. A few other little candles, a few other things. But there's just there's a desk and a chair. And, you've got to fill out some things before you return to the lodge. Yeah, I'm seeing the comments too.
Seeing the comments, yeah.
But it's definitely it's all done by candlelight, and it really is to remind you of you're not always going to be on this earth. So
the mortality of the body and the immortality of the soul.
And how do you want to be remembered when you're gone? That's one of the questions that we make them answer.
Yeah, that's something. That's a concept that if people nowadays realized that you're going to die, it's inevitable. You're going to meet your creator, and that you should live your life. Everybody thinks that they're invincible. You really do. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you're, nothing's going to happen to me. I can smoke 30 packs of cigarettes. I can, eat all those McDonald's cheeseburgers, and then something happens, and it changes your whole perspective.
Yep.
For me, was actually 2 years ago. I got hit with the kidney stones.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh, that'll change.
So, I drank those Monster Energies. I drank those coffees. How much water do I need? Not as much as in coffee. Like, how much? There's water in beer. Like, and I was at work, and it was the most incredible. I've never had my body not want to work for me. Like it was like straight up locked up.
It's painful
and extremely painful, and to the point where I was lightheaded and passing out, and I was literally crawling to my boss's office just to say, call a freaking ambulance. And it really puts in perspective that, you're not so you're not so indestructible after all.
Yeah. You may feel like it the vast majority of the time, but once in a while your body reminds you just how fragile we all are.
OP40 stands for opus.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that. And then Greg Schultz said I look like a panda. I can start the kissless army.
That's the best. That's my favorite so far.
Nice, that's good.
I look like a trash panda.
Ken looks pretty normal. He's the Marilyn of the Munster clan. So you've got that going for you, Ken. Not for nothing, but
and Josie is supposed to be Gilmy from Lord of the Rings. Gimli?
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
I'll have to look.
I know who the little...
And my axe, that guy, the one with the axe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He also said, damn, Ken really went all out for his costume. He gets an innovation award.
Is Ken supposed to be powder?
I think that's a back-ended comment.
Ken is still whiter than George.
Who said that?
Showed some Schultz. Wow.
I hate you people.
So the one guy who
wears
next to nothing. This is freaking funny.
Sorry.
Sorry. Back to the dance macabre.
Yeah.
We all keep calling it. We keep calling it dance macabre because none of us can speak French, and you're Italian. You don't know French. God, that's funny. It's funny.
Everybody's beating us up. I'm surprised Dan hasn't made a comment yet, nor has
switching
Susan.
browser tabs. I'm not even going to read it anymore.
Susan hasn't beat us up yet. Come on, Dan and Susan, get involved in the action.
So, you think it's a good thing that Freemasonry keeps Memento Mori in its ritual? You think it's we're basically, you could even attribute it to the Master Mason degree, which is where that's a form or a symbol of Memento Mori. I mean, we do the whole funeral dirge.
Yep.
And if you look on the painted trestle board for the Master Mason degree, there's skull and crossbones on it on top of the top of the coffin.
Symbolic death has to be part of Masonic ritual. I mean, to remove it would destroy the entire. I mean, the entire superstructure of Masonry, I think, would fold if you removed it. So, to downplay Memento Mori, I think, is kind of a conflict because you.
But I know there has been a movement in Freemasonry
to get rid of it,
to get rid of some of those symbols, whether it be the skull and crossbones, whether it be Memento Mori, whether it be other symbols of death, and I don't know. I think it's watering it down. I think you're playing to an audience that's ignorant of what those symbols actually mean. I think it's very humbling to remember that this doesn't go on forever. You never know when it's going to end, so you need to live your life to the fullest every day, but live it in a way that you can be proud of when you're no longer here. You don't have any time to waste. Don't dick around, as a friend of mine likes to say. Live your life the way that it should be in a exemplary manner, because you might not get another chance at it. You might not get tomorrow. It's not guaranteed.
Where are these attempts to remove those symbols from Masonry originating?
I'll give you an example. In the Knights Templar, the Grand Encampment of Knights Templar of the United States of America, they used to have triangle aprons that had the square. They had not square. They had either a triangle on the bottom, and then they had the skull and crossbones.
They're really cool looking aprons.
Yeah,
I own
awesome
one. I have one.
Yeah.
And their black background, they were super cool.
They were super cool.
So you're not allowed to wear those?
Not allowed to wear those. They
really?
took away the square and compasses. I keep saying square and compasses. They took away the skull and crossbones. Yeah. And I've heard a couple different stories as to why. One, we don't want to look like the whole devil worshipping thing, and we're evil and all that stuff. So skulls and crossbones could be a symbol of evil. I mean, you attribute it to the pirates. I mean, the pirates, they were, the pirates are evil. The pirates are evil. Were they? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
some of them.
You're hearing horror stories. Some of them, oh yeah, I'm sure were. But some of them were just after the cargo and went about their business or didn't want to be tied to a government.
Yep.
But
all about the booty.
But those
I'm being serious. They're all about
booty. Pirates booty.
Yeah.
Not any other.
Surrender your booty. No,
this is going to turn sideways.
you could
try not to.
But now think about that damsel in distress who came back to England and she's, oh my God, they were so bad. I know she's gonna buoy up that story like they were the most horrible people on the planet. So I mean,
well, we all know, like, if you're a Knights Templar, you know what the symbolism is behind that symbol, the skull and crossbones. Why can't you just wear it during?
Right,
like,
you wear it during a meeting.
When
You
the
don't have to wear it
asylum
out.
is open.
You don't wear it. You don't wear it out in
They
public.
just decree
they
that.
don't wear it at all. It's not an
Well,
any of
they
our
don't let you
uniform.
do it
But
at all.
it's during our ritual. It is
Yeah.
part of our ritual of the Knights Templar,
Which is closed to the public,
Which is
like
closed,
any other Masonic ritual.
It's one of the most Knights Templar consider it the most secret, if not important, degree in Freemasonry.
Yeah.
But back on the whole thing, so that was one aspect of it, is that we didn't want to be seen, or this Grand Master, because the highest rank in Templary is the Grand Master of Knights Templar of the Grand Encampment of the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
So he's called the Grand Master.
So he was the one who decreed.
I don't remember how many years ago, but it was he.
Okay. It was before I was made a Knight Templar. Before I was knighted.
It was
I
a
remember
long.
them
It was
telling me
before
that.
I was knighted,
Yeah.
so it was a long.
Well, I
it
said
was
I'm not joining that.
quite a few years ago.
If I can't get one of those aprons, I'm not joining.
You can still buy them.
You can still buy.
them. You're
Yeah,
just not
my
allowed to
neighbor
wear
still
them.
has one.
Crap.
Yeah.
But basically, the other aspect of it was, and I had another story that I had heard. Him, Georgie.
Dos, please. That means two.
Two, Georgie.
Duh,
So
as the
back
French
on-
say.
Deux.
Deux.
That's right, we're going
Deux.
French. Deux.
Yeah.
Un, deux, trois. Quatre, cinq, six.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Anyways, the other aspect of the apron thing was. I can't look at you. I can't freaking look
What
at
else
you.
is different?
Dude, I can't look at you.
Me?
That makeup, I can't take
You
anything.
just want to
you're
scratch
saying
my
seriously.
belly, don't you?
I'm trying really hard. To
Who's
get
a good
this
boy? Who's a good boy?
Shake my leg.
right. Why do we do these things?
So anyway, back in the
It's
Templar.
not like it's live on Facebook or anything.
No.
Nobody will ever
Thanks,
know.
buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Our little beer ghoul.
Yep.
But back on the apron. I know we're getting off subject, and half of this is going to have to be edited out, but that's fine.
Probably.
We're live, so.
Put it into an after hours
Put it
or
in an after
Patreon or something.
But in all seriousness, no, I'm just going to edit out like the dead space in between. Is all I'm saying. But
Can we like edit me out and then like splice me in wearing a better costume? Can we do
We
that?
have a mask. Get in one of the masks behind there.
get him the
Seriously,
luchador
yeah.
mask.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Where is it? Is it back there?
I don't think it'll fit him, though.
It'll fit him. If it's my head, it'll fit him.
All right,
You're going to be a luchador. You want to be a luchador? Yes. The
we'll
answer
do
is
it
yes.
after we go on break.
All
We're
right.
going to pause in a minute.
All right.
Switch it up.
Joseph Schultz.
Check Big Red for fleas. I'd rather he check me for worms.
Oh, God.
If I start scooching my butt on the floor, be worried.
All right. Anyway,
Anyhow.
back on the
Into the
apron. So the Knights Templar, the apron. It was one attributed that the square compass would be evil, or death, or
Skull and
devil
bones.
worship, or
Skull
skull
and
and bones,
Did it
skull and
again.
bones.
Did it again.
But the other thing that the skull and bones that they didn't want to make a connection to was actually Nazis.
Really?
Because the
because of
SS
the death's head rings at the
the SS. That's what they had. That was one of their. Was the square
skull and crossbones.
skull and crossbones.
Which I mean, they stole it from the Knights Templar.
Well, and they stole the swastika. That was
They stole a lot of stuff.
Eastern
Japanese.
symbol for good luck, I believe, or good health, or something like that.
But as most things go, once a bad group of individuals procures a symbol for themselves, it becomes
Yeah, but I had
off
never,
the table for use.
I never really heard it that much in reference to skull and crossbones. People think of pirates.
Right.
I've never heard somebody, oh, skull and crossbones, they're Nazis. They'd be like, what are you, some kind of freaking pirate?
I understand it's this particular Grandmaster wanted to separate as far as he could from there. Again, we're a Christian order, so we should be wearing the Templar, cross,
right.
more so than a skull and crossbones.
I get that.
But it's not the skull and crossbones the naval flag of the Templar fleet?
It was indeed.
It was.
So okay.
It was one of.
But I think it's the perversion. What he's saying is it's a perversion of that symbolism.
No, I
Since
get
then.
it, but
yeah, I mean,
you said it perfectly.
It belongs to the Templar more than anyone else.
I mean,
right.
We can make an argument for all of the symbols that have been perverted. You got the skull and crossbones. You also have the swastika. That was a Japanese. You said it. That was a good luck symbol. But some nasty bastards took it, perverted it, and made it. Now it's something looked at as a hate thing.
Kind of like we did with the puppet.
Yeah.
Another perfect example would be oh boy, what's the other one that's always perverted? Not the swastika, not the Star of David. Or not the Star of David, the pentagram. We've talked about that. That was a symbol of Solomon.
Right.
That's what he wore on his ring. And that was seen
it's used by the Order of the Eastern Star.
Yes, it is. But there's nothing. It's another symbol that again was taken, perverted, made bad, or demonized, and now everybody's like, "Oh, you're a devil worshiper." No, we're not. You're just an idiot and doesn't do your homework. Read a book.
That's the problem. Idiots never do their homework, George.
Get off of Facebook.
And that's, I'm sure, exactly what the Grandmaster of the Grand Encampment was thinking. That, look, the idiots aren't going to do their homework. We have to remove our affiliation with this symbol, or else. And
that's pretty much where they're going.
Only the stupid people that are going to make a big deal about it. It's unfortunate.
And I don't mean like stupid people. I consider stupid people as ignorant.
Yeah, ignorant. Yep.
When you see something on Facebook, you read a story on Facebook, right? And then you're like, oh my God, this happened. Let me share it. But you're not citing or actually reading the story. When it's, what is it called? Satire? What's it called when it's like
parody?
Clickbait?
Like The Onion? You're talking like the Onion?
Yeah.
It's like parody or satire. Yeah.
They're not real stories, but people, before they even read the story, will just read the one line and share it because, well somebody else posted it. It's got to be true, right?
Well, it's like what happened with the closing of the Shriners hospitals that we talked about with Billy Russo.
Yeah.
That's an article from 10 years ago that I just saw getting passed around again the other day.
Yep.
And it's just not true.
Right.
At that time, there were some issues, but they're thriving right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it happens in Masonic circles as much as it happens in the rest of the profane world too.
It's a shame because I personally am a big fan of the skull and crossbones, and I for what it represents to us. Like
I still have it in my car. I have the square and compasses with the skull and crossbones inside it because
I personally like the symbol. Again, it's if everybody in life walked every day like it could be their last, you'd have a world full of better people.
Yep.
Maybe not the Schultz brothers, because they'd be, I don't even know what they'd be doing. Hookers and blow and...
No, come on. No.
We rely on the Freemasons podcast for our research information.
God help you guys.
Oh, boy, they're in trouble.
Oh, I certainly hope not. We tried to put a subject out that we know a little bit about. I've done a little bit of research on things.
But we are not scholars.
If
we were scholars, this would be a much different show, trust me.
I bring up these things and I put in as much information as I know about it, but I encourage others to look more into it because I'm not 100%. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and if we screw up, go and comment on the episode and say, "Hey, you guys are wrong about this."
Somebody left us a 1-star review on Apple. And their argument was, what was it? They don't have right facts, or they don't have good facts, or whatever the hell. Their information is incorrect. We've never claimed our information is correct.
No, but we presented it as fact.
Yeah.
Even so,
Not
that
all
was
of
always
it
a
is
standing joke.
Right.
But we give you a piece of it. We're just here, again, just like Masonry, we can show you the door. But it's your job to look more into it. Do your own research on it. We're just talking about this again, it's Halloween. We have.
If we're wrong, tell us what we're wrong about so that we can correct it. I mean,
that's all. We've
wrong. That doesn't help us at all.
Right. We've always thrown that out there too. It's like, hey, if we get something wrong, call us out on it. Let us know.
Great, Joseph Schultz. Yeah, you guys are my single news source.
He could do worse.
Yeah, really, he really could.
Hey,
he could do worse.
While we're at it, fill us up on more of these things. We got a toast to do. 2 toasts I want to do.
Where's Raph? I thought Raph was going to be up here tonight.
Oh, who knows?
He was going to be part of the Halloween.
We already have one.
Costuming.
We already have one Bigfoot in the house. What do we need another one for?
It's not all I got.
You look great in that. That was that the Mitchell Hedgens or what the hell is it called? That video, the Patterson video.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Totally
about.
the Patterson video
With the swinging his arms and stuff.
Look it up, Patterson video.
Okay.
It's the classic Bigfoot.
Oh,
movie that
okay.
you've
Yes,
seen
yes,
from,
yes,
the
yes.
60s.
Yep, I got you now.
It's like the definitive. We can recreate that on this Main Street in Seymour if you want.
I think we're going to take a break. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back. And
Costume change.
Oh, I thought we were doing a toast.
Costume change.
Oh, yeah, toast.
This is pathetic.
So, I would like to do a toast to our armed servicemen because we just mashed the hell out of the leader of ISIS.
Did we?
Baghdadi.
I didn't read anything about that.
Yeah, last
Really?
the big press conference this
Wow.
morning.
Okay.
They got his
Or
ass.
another one for
So-
freedom. Did not know that.
Later, Joe.
If it weren't for this podcast, I wouldn't know anything that's
There you
going
go.
on
See,
in the world.
we're your single source of news
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
Brothers, right hand to arms.
To arms.
Ready.
Ready.
Aim.
Aim.
Fire, good fire, fire all. Together, brothers.
Vivat, vivat, vivat.
All right, we're going to pause. We're going to break and smoke a quick one. Smoke if you got them, and then we'll be back. So I'm going to keep the live feed going. Joe can sing in Chewbacca voice, and then when we come
There we
back,
go.
we're going to be
Knew it was gonna
discussing.
happen.
When we come back, we're going to be discussing
Don't
Memento
Oh.
Mori in modern day
My bad.
and
Okay,
what we
cool.
can do with Freemasonry. So I'm going to pause this, and we'll be back.
So Nick Chubb fumbles. Patriots ran it in for a touchdown.
Woohoo!
That was 7-0.
What's the score?
It is now 17-0.
Patriots?
Yes.
Awesome.
They kicked the field goal on their second drive, and I'm trying to see what happened for the other touchdown. But Jarvis Landry guaranteed victory. Looks like Edelman got the other touchdown.
Soup.
You should have glued your eyebrows. You can like see the little hairs trying to come out.
Yeah. Kind of weird.
You put glue over your eyebrow. And then you put foundation.
over your eyebrows?
Yeah, you put glue and then
Never
foundation
heard that
and then you
before.
put the makeup.
And it's so weird. 'cause
I
you
think
can
she's
do
just
it.
trying to get you to glue your eyebrow.
Yeah.
I think so too. You got a little bit.
No, I just want to put foundation on.
You did it wrong. I can see the way you wet your fire. It's the way.
What is that? Boogeyman Rob Zombie.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? No.
It is. Good call, George. Good, George. Good call.
I found this band popped up on my techno electronic feed on my Pandora called Dance with the Dead. And it's all like 80s horror movie sounding like soundtrack
that's
type
awesome.
music, but it's all like synths and stuff. It's pretty
Wow. Oh, whatever this is. I know we can't play all of it, so I'll turn it off so we don't get busted by Facebook.
cool. Is it
But it's from I don't think so. No, I think it's just all the original lyrics. It's just the creepy version. I think it's from The Crow 2. Which, by the way, Crow, excellent freaking movie.
There's a bunch of old ladies down there walking down the street. I just stuck my head out the window.
You're like, hey,
Did they see you or no?
No,
You got to make a
guys want
noise.
some candy?
You're like, hey.
I should have Georgie run down there just with costume on and just run through the street. No,
Don't
don't.
do that.
Don't.
I almost
because
got
no,
it.
something
You
will
don't like
happen.
poor old ladies.
They'll beat you with their hand done.
I was going to say, he'll probably get his butt kicked by a bunch of old ladies. Actually, maybe we should send him down.
We should put that out on
Nice though.
Facebook.
See that?
They're screaming a lot for old ladies. Getting mugged or something.
Where do they see the puppet? Oh, boy. We're awful people sometimes.
You should have dressed him up and put him in the thing.
He's got a little cloak. I was thinking about that. Shouldn't we put his little cloak on?
Oh, you could. You can make him like the Emperor. Did we have that little black thing that we used to cover up the arm?
Yeah.
Or we can make them into
Papa
a...
George coming out?
Yeah,
Yeah, put them on the table. We can put them on the table. Dress them up.
This is kind of this holiday.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. So I'm not impressed with this proper 12 whiskey. I was hoping.
It's a little young tasting. Little young.
I didn't realize till after I bought it. It was the Conor McGregor whiskey, but
It's not terrible.
it won't go bad.
It doesn't have a twist off cap.
No, it's got a cork.
Well, yeah.
I'm your boogeyman.
There's weirder shit in downtown Seymour than you. But you are pretty fucking weird.
Yeah.
What? I'll go run across the street like that Patterson video. Yes, I will. Of course I will. Why wouldn't I? Wait till it snows and I go out in the snow. Be like a big ginger yeti.
That's funny.
So funny.
I uploaded a
Big-
song for you to sing on Facebook community page. Oh God.
Who loaded it up?
I guess Greg Schultz did.
Oh, boy.
First.
Did the dentist finally get rid of the creepy pumpkin down there?
Yeah, I know. The
Creepy, like the princess pumpkin. It's kind of creepy.
You put that on wrong.
All right.
Yes,
You
Dad.
put that on wrong. Why are you
Let's
putting
see
it on
what
his
we
head?
put on this.
There you go, Papa George. Is that better?
Let's see what you put on the community page.
So hungry.
Uh,
Eat food at 3 o'clock.
Just got fight you little porkers.
At 3 o'clock. Now I just sat on
All right.
Oh, we're playing pumpkins today.
Kill that window. We'll fire it back up.
Hold on, I gotta see what song he's suggesting.
Dad, Mommy.
No. All right.
Really, Greg Schultz? Really? We can't sing that. I don't even know if it should be up on the page.
What is it?
I can't. There's kids in the room. Schultz.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't even know to what tune I would change it.
This is
Right.
not the episode for that.
All right.
No, that's an after hours.
Yeah.
So.
That's an after hours our page got. All right. Let's fire it
Schultz
back
is out
up.
of control.
There's a box of matches in there. Set yourself on fire. All right.
Okay.
He's out of control, but he's on point.
All right. Ready, guys? 5, 4, 3, 2. We're back.
And we're back.
Second
we're not
half of this.
officially back. Yeah, I gotta put my hood up. Gotta complete my costume.
Second half of this. How could we apply Memento Mori to Freemasonry today, and is it relevant? So that's what we're going to start with. Ken, why don't you start with any comments you got?
Like I said before, I think it still is relevant. I mean, there's a very, very big emphasis on death and rebirth in Freemasonry, specifically in the 3rd degree. And I think if we forget about the fact that we are mortal and that man is born to die, then it removes a very fundamental aspect of the fraternity's ritual. And to remove that would be it would no longer be Freemasonry.
And honestly, I think Freemasonry is moving away from it. I know that there are some jurisdictions, and I think it was either Greg or Joseph Schultz said that Delaware does not recognize Memento Mori.
Correct. Yeah.
And he said, I found that out the hard way.
It doesn't recognize it how? Like they don't speak about death at all? Like, in
I
general,
think it's
or-
they don't do chamber reflections. You're not allowed to have skull and crossbones and all that in your lodge. I'm assuming that's what he means.
But they still do the Hieramic legend still exists and all of that kind of stuff. It's just they don't talk about remember that you're mortal.
I think that's what he's pretty much driving at.
Wow.
So
It's interesting.
But
because it's not like they're removing a symbol from Freemasonry. At that point,
Yeah,
they're just saying,
Joseph
"Hey,
Schultz
this is a little
said-
bit too macabre. We can't talk about this."
Joseph Schultz said the symbol isn't recognized. So
Oh, okay, the symbol isn't
the
recognized.
symbol isn't
Got it.
recognized. And there's even grand jurisdictions that don't allow chambers of reflection. You're not allowed to. Connecticut is kind of one of those.
Yeah.
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah,
You
and
get
we
some
had
people who are-
ours. we didn't. We
You were one of the
kind of
first,
kept
right?
it. We were one of the first. There was Willis St. John's number 4, and West Hartford was the first. Because we had. I apologize if I get his name wrong. I believe it's Brother Justin Duffy. Came down from the Masonic Lodge of Research and gave a talk on it, and mentioned that in his mother lodge of Willis St. John's 4, they had one, and it was very intriguing. So we just kind of took it and said, well, if they can have it, then we can have it. And we did it, but it wasn't something that was publicized. If we had Grand Lodge people in the building, we didn't really it. We didn't hide it, but we didn't go out of our way to let them know about it. Unless they asked about it, then we're like, yeah, we'll come show you.
Right.
And it's actually practiced in Freemasonry all around the world. United States is one of the few that's gotten away from it. But we had a brother, Danny Sanchez, in our lodge who was raised in Chile, and it was just standard there. It's par for the course. So.
I don't know too many Blue Lodges in Connecticut that have chambers of reflection outside of you guys.
It's us, Ashlar Aspetuck, and I think the one in East.
And maybe the lodges that share Knights Templar commanderies, maybe the Blue Lodges use them as well. I'd have to.
I know in New Haven it's a no because New Haven commandery has a.
Commanderies always use it. That's
part of the
fundamental.
ritual.
Yes,
part of it. Like there's no way around it. You have to go.
It'd be interesting to see if the Blue Lodges that share the building in Meriden with St. Elmo's commandery actually use that chamber.
I mean, why not? Realistically, why not? I mean, it's still teaching the same lessons. I think that part of it is also that I wrote our own ritual for our chamber of reflection, but Ashlar Aspetuck probably has a different one. The lodge in East Hartford,
West Hartford.
They probably have a different one. So I feel it's two things. It's one, some grand jurisdictions don't want the Memento Mori seen in they don't want it in the lodges because I guess they're trying to show, stop crinkling the damn bags. Holy hell.
You do really hear everything with these headphones
Everything.
on.
Everything. All I hear is crinkling. I'm going to spend an hour just editing out crinkling later.
It's going to be Cheetos dust all over the floors in here.
I mean, we have Tony the Tiger, so
they're great. We're mixing references.
We are.
I prefer to be a liger, but anyway.
We know.
Pretty much my favorite animal.
Pretty much the best animal ever.
They're bred for their magical powers.
So I still have my square and compass, or I'm sorry, my skull and crossbones on the side of my ring, and I have the Memento Mori in the front of it.
Right.
Nice.
And I wear that proudly.
So
even if they want to remove it from the ritual, that's fine.
Have one of our
symbolism
helpers
behind it is still
put it
important to me.
up to the camera.
Okay, you guys want to
I've got.
do something with that over near the camera? I have a delay, so George can tell you whether it's autofocusing.
Flip it right there. There you go. Back it up just a hair, Hannah. There you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good job.
And I have this
It's a traditional ring.
If you wouldn't mind holding that up, make sure the skull forward. So that's
haven't seen
the whom virtue unites, death
Spin it.
shall not
Oh,
separate.
that's what it says right there. The Latin virtuous virtuous
spin it.
junxit mors non separate.
Come
That's
closer.
pretty much what that has as well.
Whom virtue unites, death.
You can't
It's
really
got
see it.
a-
That's all right, Hannah.
Right in the middle of it, it's got a skull,
Oh, yeah.
and at the bottom, it's got the
The
square
square
and compasses
compasses.
on it.
That's really cool, man.
And then if you flip it over, for the people that are freaky,
Oh, so you can flip it and it's a little bit less scary, but it's still got a skull on the bottom. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think grand jurisdictions is one of the two things is they don't like the symbology of the Memento Mori, but I think the other aspect of it is that they can't control the ritual that's being used. So realistically, we use it in a way that the one that I had written was basically, in a sense, are you, come in this room, reflect on yourself, stare at the symbols of mortality, understand that you're born to die, understand that, you should come into your, it's kind of a reflection on yourself. It's kind of the way I take it.
You have limited time. Make the most of it.
Right.
Make it better than how you found
yes, it's pretty much what I'm getting. I'm trying not to give the ritual away, which is why I'm kind of being,
Yeah, that's
I'm being floaty and trying to figure out what I'm going to say right. But the other aspect of it is now I have my ritual. I know what I wanted to. Well, I see my ritual, our ritual here at Morningstar. The ritual that I wrote is what I'm saying. What I wanted to portray is just that. You're going to die. You should use as much time as you possibly can because you only have a little bit to make your mark on life. Be a mark, not a stain.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have somebody else who has a chamber reflection, and they can write any ritual they want, and it could be bad. You know what I mean? It could go straight P2 Lodge bad.
Yep.
I think, you know what I mean?
But if you do because I'm sure you did the same thing we did, and you researched the chamber of reflection, and you probably took different things from different resources that were out there and kind of made it your own.
Right.
That's exactly what we did. But it's not against the landmarks of Freemasonry, at least not the Connecticut Grand Lodge, because it's not making an innovation. Because this is a part of our history. This is something that's been done in other places for a very long time. So we're not making any innovations on Freemasonry.
Right.
We're just bringing back something that kind of lost its way. Probably, my guess, and I don't know this to be fact at all, nor will I present it as such, but I'm guessing a lot of those things started to disappear around the Morgan affair and the anti-Masonic party. And when a lot of lodges came back from going dark those times, they kind of had to sanitize it a little bit, and I guarantee you there's things that were in ritual prior to that just aren't in our ritual anymore.
Even in Nazi Germany, when they did in France, they exposed everything we were doing. They showed all the Memento Mori, they showed the chambers of reflection, everything that was going on in France as a way of see look, these guys are bad.
Yeah, and their propaganda films.
Films, they made it bad. And even now modern day, you take YouTube and they pervert everything we do as well.
Right.
So, I mean, you're still getting a washing of the ritual in a sense, Memento Mori being one of them. Greg Schultz, I don't know. I think you are born to live, but we are traveling on a brittle thread of time. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we mean by,
yes.
Man born to a woman is born to die. Like the point is that eventually you are going to die, not that you should just give up and
no.
But there is actually
born to live.
Just more of the utilize your time while you have it.
Yeah,
right.
Do so wisely.
But to get to Greg Schultz's point, there is a philosophy that runs parallel to Memento Mori. It's called Memento Vivere, which is remember to live. And based on some reading I did, they were interconnected at one point, because it was remember to live,
right?
Because remember you will die. And then one got shortened to Memento Mori and just focused on that. The other went to the Memento Vivere. And the message is the same.
Yep.
Because it's remember to live because
you're gonna
die. And to me, that's philosophically, even with the Memento Mori, that's how I interpreted it in my head is remember you're going to die, so make sure you live every moment. As they say, make sure you kiss your kids on the way out every morning. You never know.
Another fun, interesting fact that I just wanted to bring up. It's
the Wookiee has a point.
The Wookiee does.
Let the Wookiee win. Let the Wookiee win.
You Schultz, you brothers are on point tonight. The Wookiee has a point.
It's not all I got.
One of the another interesting thing is that Memento Mori, didn't really just pop up in the 1400s. This has been a concept since the Roman times. Perfect example is when they started doing the excavations of Pompeii, they found symbols of Memento Mori and even Masonic symbols in a mosaic on the floor.
Masonic symbols?
Well, we would perceive them as Masonic symbols. Okay. It's an interesting connection, and what it is, it's basically a plumb line with a skull. I'm sure you've seen it. If anybody's watched the TV show Rome, you'll see that's exactly what it is. It's a skull, and above it is a plumb line, an old plumb line, and below it is a level, I think. I think it's below it is a level. And it basically is that death is the grand leveler.
Yep. And that's, I don't think that's really indicative of the fact that that Masonry pre-existed the 1600s or something like that. I think it's just more that's a pretty standard like
concept.
You know, you look at us and you look at the fact that religion sprang up very, very early in humanity. I mean, one of the central concepts is that we all die. Right. So you have to have some kind of there's always going to be symbolism behind that.
Right.
Behind like, look, do well because your time here is limited.
Well,
so kind of makes sense.
Modern day. So what are things that we can do? Let's talk about Halloween. I love Halloween.
My favorite holiday.
Yep. And two.
Absolutely favorite holiday. Halloween. Because it's becoming more of an adult holiday, so more than kids. Kids enjoy to go out with candy, but a lot of adults now do like Halloween parties and dress up things and all that stuff,
Like
right?
there's dirty cop Halloween costumes that they're dirty anything. There's dirty Batman, dirty Robin.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a thing even when we were kids though?
Oh,
Not to my knowledge. Not that I remember.
I don't remember. I wish I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember my parents going out to.
I don't remember my parents ever going out to Halloween
No.
parties.
Oh, I do remember my dad going as he took his my dad was a Vietnam veteran and still had his army jacket. And I remember him one year he went as Fidel Castro.
It's an easy one to do.
He had a mustache and put a beard in it. I remember him taking like a piece of tape and over his name on his army jacket put Castro.
Oh, that's funny.
So I remember that.
Right.
And I think my mom that same year was a Rubik's Cube or something because it was big back then. But yeah, I remember my dad
That's
going as
funny.
Fidel Castro for Halloween.
So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, Morningstar does their little Halloween candy thing down there. But I think next year, podcast, I want to do something big. And I was thinking like a Halloween ball. I want to do that where everybody
Like a
dresses up
masquerade
like
ball?
a masquerade ball.
If you do like a
That would
Victorian,
be cool.
I want to do that. For
My
the
wife and I
podcast.
wanted to go to the one that was in
Stanford,
it was-
Union
yeah,
5?
Yeah, we wanted to go to that one,
the
but I guess
Mason
there was
secret ball.
there was a conflict or something. It looked really cool.
Yeah,
like it
that's what I
was,
wanna do.
$100 plate, like get all dressed up, black tie,
Yep.
Victorian
cocktail
themes.
dresses,
Mhm.
masquerade.
Yep.
I
wanna do
definitely want to
that.
get one of those big plague masks.
Oh yeah,
Plague doctor
the
mask.
Plague Doctor.
Yep.
Yep, I was looking at that
Masquerade
one.
and or paint your face.
Yeah.
Such as
Yep.
me,
Or-
or
Yeah,
and
do
have
one
the
weird
whole ball or be surrounded around Dance Macabre.
Yeah, so
like,
do it around
That would
Halloween.
be great. Yeah.
Yeah, like get like a dance floor.
Let's get a
but,
committee together on it right now.
And then it wouldn't.
Here's our committee right here.
Yeah, bring it to either that or you can expand it outside of Morningstar and go district.
Oh no!
District
This is gonna be
3,
a podcast thing.
Oh, okay.
I wanted this as a podcast thing.
So a
And-
podcast sponsored event.
Podcast sponsored
Okay.
event.
It wouldn't
And-
conflict with the Stanford event either because they do theirs in like midsummer, I think, or something.
No, it's this year it was the 12th.
Of
It was of
October?
October. Yes.
really? Oh, I
Yeah, it
didn't
was
think
just a
that
couple
late.
weeks ago. But they had, speaking of which, they had some really cool auction items. One of which was a replica of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth.
What?
Yeah,
we gotta go to
they
that
had
one
a
too.
cool-
then.
So shout out to Worshipful brother Rich Gross, current sitting master of Union 5.
Yeah, that was like
We'll
a
be
really
reaching
cool
out to you.
event.
Mhm.
Super cool event. I love the idea. I love the whole concept behind it. My wife was all about it.
Yeah.
She jumped
Yeah.
on her phone in the middle of the night and started looking up like masquerade masks and
Yep,
stuff.
that's
It
what I
was-
want to do. I want to do that next year, and we'll make a giant donation to charity on our proceeds. What do you guys think?
Love it. I'm in.
Totally in. I
We'll
need to
open it to anybody who's listening to the podcast, as well as anybody who's it's going to be open to the public. Anybody can come, but I definitely
That's a great
needs to
idea.
be black tie affair.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was
Black
looking
tie
for a
affair.
reason to buy a Plague Doctor mask. Now I got one. Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know. Like, I love the whole concept of like the tuxedo, with the black tuxedo, with the black
With
belt,
the, yeah.
with the
Yes.
the death
It looks
face.
very like Vanilla Sky.
It does, right?
Is that a code name for your legs?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Let me just also say, you know what's really bothering me? I'm not gonna lie, really
So
bothering.
you can't see my hair?
No.
Oh.
It was rather unnerving.
So we've made fun of Ken,
Yeah.
made fun of you. Nobody's really made fun of me
They
yet.
called you a panda.
They did call me Kung Fu Panda,
Trash.
They said you were the
Kung Fu
kissless
Panda.
army.
but my freaking nose with this black paint is so shiny. I look.
You actually
I
look
do-
like
I have one of those like long doctor noses for like the doctor's masks from like the medieval times.
You actually look
that.
like the lead singer from this group named Ghost, whose songs have some Masonic undertones to them.
Yeah, I
Hey,
think I've seen that on YouTube
Hey.
once or twice.
He looks like that guy a little bit.
Hannah.
He does, yeah.
You could get a Pope costume.
I mean,
No, seriously, you could do that.
you look
easily.
much less professional than that guy, but
Hold on.
Well, Mud, he's like
Hannah, when we were in the car, what was I playing?
Ghost song.
Ah, it's the face.
okay.
That's what you're going for.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
You almost nailed it.
I almost nailed it.
You did.
And
You did a good job.
I don't have professional makeup.
Starting to run a little bit. Or no, you touched it.
I
That's
touched
okay.
it. Yeah,
It's the tears.
I have.
It's from us making fun of him. But
That's
they
what I
have
was
a
going
song,
for.
and I don't know the name of it, but the lyrics are you on the square? Are you on the level?"
Yep.
Yeah.
So on.
Yeah, there's a lot of
But
Masonic.
yeah, all you need
undertones.
go get a Pope costume, and you could be that.
And actually, the song that I'm opening this podcast to when I do post it is "Dance Macabre" by Ghost.
Oh, nice.
And that's
So
what I'm opening
they do
to.
a rendition.
Well, and then, but there
They
is
do a
actually
rendition of it. It's a modern day, like it's got like an 80s rock feel, but it's really good. And the video is even cooler. So if you ever get to see their video, it's basically the same thing. Guy with his face. And the allegory in the music video is freaking awesome because, you know, these two guys try to get into this party and the guy's like, "What party?" He's like, "The party in there." Got it. Got it.
we're back.
I ripped the
And we're
freaking
back.
wire out of the ground.
Too excited.
But
Gesturing wildly.
so
George looks like the kids who got their asses kicked by Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, he does.
Sweep the
Why?
leg,
That's
George.
true. Why
Sweep the leg.
why were Cobra Kai kids all dressed up like? Why did they all have skull faces? Or maybe it was just
Because it was a
as
Halloween
wee
party.
kid.
It was a Halloween party. Daniel Russo was dressed in it was a shower.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
So he
was
can
a
make
shower,
out with
yeah. Oh yeah,
Elizabeth Shue. And
yeah.
So anyway, the Masonic undertones are
sweep the leg.
Do it.
this coming from
Cobra
Steve
Kai.
Irwin and
No mercy.
This coming from Steve Irwin and his
A wallaby? Can it be a wallaby?
Pet wallaby.
Or a koala? A koala? Giant koala?
He started speaking Australian.
A dingo ate my baby.
I hope none of my friends are watching this right now. I really don't.
Speaking of which, we haven't heard from our
Right, where's full
Australian,
brother Mike is on. Oh, that's
folks.
Yes, we have Mike Alchin. Just
Oh, is he? Hey,
Just
Michael
signed
Alton.
on.
We're just saying. I miss my Australian folks.
Yeah, I haven't really talked to Lynx. I'm gonna have to call him up and yell at him too. But so in the music video, Ghost, so they get into this party, right? And everybody's all dancing. Obviously, it's a music video, but the one guy who's kind of reluctant to go into the party, he was the one who actually got him in because he's like, "Come on, man, let's just go. Let's get out of here." And he's like, "Oh no, come on in this party." And he finally lets him in, and he ends up dancing with a chick, a blonde chick with black on her eyes, and he's dancing with her. And she is death. She's the symbology of death. And so he's doing the dance of death with her. And then at the end of the video, he has this face.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
he died.
Only slightly better looking.
Basically, and then right before he puts this, you son of a bitch.
I said slightly. Tried to help you.
But right before he turns to this face, he's all dressed in white, she's all dressed in white, and then the light pops out in the background. Symbology is
symbolic.
seeing the light.
Yep.
So then when after that happens, his face turns like this. And that's pretty much
Symbolically,
he dies.
Yeah.
So that's the dance of death.
Interesting.
Pretty cool.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll have to look
But I was aware of the band. I was not aware of that video.
Yes. It's
I'll definitely check it out. But
really
no,
good.
that would actually be a really cool, fun event.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
My bad.
And definitely surround it around Memento Mori.
Yeah.
Like take skulls and all that stuff and put it in and do it in like a big venue, like
It'd
in
just be a Danse Macabre.
Danse Macabre.
Yeah, we could actually call it that.
We
We
could.
could.
Danse Macabre.
Dance Macabre.
No, we should. You might have to edit that out. That
What?
idea may get stolen.
No, you know what? If it gets stolen, it
if it
doesn't
gets
really matter.
stolen, it
Like, what's it
doesn't
gonna?
really-
What are they gonna do it in like the venue next door to us or something?
Right.
I'm just
Or
saying.
whatever.
We have
Like,
good
well,
ideas.
We do have
Danse
good ideas.
Macabre.
We do. All right, brothers. What do you think?
Can I go as Denny Terrio?
You can
don't
go
know
as
who that
whoever
is.
you
don't-
want.
Neither one of you
I
guys.
thought you were
know
gonna
who
be a
that is.
plague doctor. I would stick with that.
I'll be Denny Cario as the plague.
It's got to be
Okay,
dark and
that's
deep.
fine.
It's got to be dark and deep if you're going to do it. You know what I mean? Like if we're going to do it, like you show up as Teddy Ruxpin, and it's going to ruin the whole vibe of it. I
I'm
mean,
not going to show up.
No, it's
as Teddy
black tie masquerade.
where's your, does,
You
Ken,
could-
does he have the
very
ring behind his
specific.
back, or you just you can be my friend?
No. The
funny,
sash
he,
is
funny. He never said that to me. I guess he knew I was a ginger. Even an inanimate object knew that I couldn't have any.
How do I get stuck with this dope?
You exist.
Oh, by the way, speaking of things like that in gingers, and you always bust on me and call me Chucky.
Yes.
Good friend of mine. His name's Brian. I won't say his last name because people will hate on him. Has the cutest little daughter. She's got to be like 4 or 5 years old, about your height, about this high, and red hair.
Laugh. Don't you dare laugh.
Red
Calling
hair.
a freaking Uber.
So what does he do? Him and his wife put her in a pair of overalls and a striped shirt.
That's
And give her a plastic knife, and she's running around as Chucky. Clearly, she has no clue. She has I'm sure, has never seen the movie, has any concept because she's really young.
Right.
But I'm like, oh my god, you win!
That,
You win!
it's the,
Like, and I'm sure somebody will give him crap for it, but I was like, no, I approve.
so.
Yeah.
We're going to lock this
More
up momentarily. I think we've pretty much covered as much as we can in Memento Mori. It's kind of a loose topic, loose subject. I mean, we just wanted to do something for Halloween.
Well, there isn't too much.
There's
to
not too
it.
much
I
to
mean,
really
it's-
cover on it. So
There's the symbolism behind it. There's the fact that some grand jurisdictions want to remove that from our ritual and from our ceremony, and that's
I'm against
pretty
that,
much it.
just for the
Yeah,
record.
I
I'm
mean,
against it.
against what?
Removing it from our ritual.
Me as well.
Personally, I am as well. As long
It's
as
a
it's
powerful-
explained.
I think we should
Yeah.
embrace it more.
I think we should, because if you think of all the symbols that we have, it's probably one of the most powerful symbols, because death is universal.
Absolutely.
Much like Freemasonry, we talk about the universality of Freemasonry. Well, nothing's more universal than death.
Taking nothing away
Ignoring
from
it will get us nowhere.
taking nothing away from our square and compasses, because they're very powerful
Right.
symbols as well.
Right.
But like, oh, you should, circumscribe your with the
Yeah, but
compasses.
why do we do
Why
this?
do we do that? Because remember,
You have a
Right.
limited
And that's
amount.
Yeah, it's intertwined.
It's like we're
Yeah.
here again.
you lose part of the message if you don't have that. Because
It's
if
like
you
we've been doing
don't,
this for a while.
Right.
it's-
No, but we get off again. For instance, apparently it was a Gilligan's Island theme. Nobody told me, because we all said we were going to just be quiet about what we are wearing. I
Well,
originally was going to dress as Puppet George. I have an apron. This is very similar to Puppet George's. I have a blue shirt. I was going to leave untucked,
Oh, you know what
and
it
I have a
was?
yellow tie. I was going to dress up as Puppet
and
George.
I was going to go as George, but do the like Dorf on golf thing with Tim Conway, where you walk, you put the shoes on your knees, and you walk in
Right.
like I was going to do that.
I mean, we had talked about that, and then I thought we had settled on the Gilligan's Island thing, and then we were like, oh well, don't tell anybody else about it. So we couldn't talk about it on
I don't think so. I don't
anything.
remember
So I was
that.
like, all right, that was the last thing we had talked about. That's our group Halloween costume. We're all going to show up and not talk about it ahead of time. And here I am, the only one.
See, I
Yeah,
took it
like
different. I
Gilligan's
took it as we
Island,
changed topics, and it was going to be a surprise that we weren't going to talk
I
about
think
it.
that's,
ahead
you're
of time.
going to have to listen back. Pretty sure we
had
changed topics and said, no, we're not
cool
going to tell each
costumes.
other.
Let's go to the videotape.
Yeah, can we go to the instant replay,
We could.
George?
I can't go to the instant replay now, but we'll do it later.
Yeah,
And then-
you still have that same old laptop. We
I
gotta
still
do
have this
something about
same old laptop. Yeah. Got to upgrade this thing at some point.
We need more Patreon.
We need more Patreons.
And we'll buy a new laptop.
that. And better costumes.
If we get enough
Sorry.
Patreons, I'll buy a whole laser light show before we go live. It'll just
We should start a GoFundMe.
No, we can't
campaign.
squander Patreon.
no.
George.
No. Hey,
Let's start a GoFundMe campaign.
no, oh my God. No, you need to not to, because you'll end up having a freaking disco ball hanging from the ceiling and you hear, my endless love. Because that's the shit that you do.
No, disco ball. Never mind. I'm gonna
No.
reel that in.
no.
I'm reeling that in. Reeling that in.
Where's the level? Where's the level?
Cut my mic.
All right. So, what do you say? We shut this down.
All right.
It's not going to get any better from here.
Greg Schultz, why not a 6-legged horse? We're talking.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not.
All right, we're gonna shut it down. Next
Like
episode.
a centipede kind of thing.
So we got some pretty good guests coming up pretty soon.
We do.
Yeah,
We've got
I
quite
think
the lineup.
we've
Mhm.
got 3 or 4 that have already said yes.
Big ones.
We're just working
Big
on
ones.
scheduling because they're popular enough they're very busy.
I'd say.
Like we have some huge one. I spoke to a person. What was it? Friday. You and I were talking, and I actually got an email and was exchanging emails back and forth. That one looks like it's going to happen in December. We just they have to pick a date, and I followed up with them today. We have a huge one that I'm going to follow up with this week. If we can make that happen, I don't know. I think we might just retire.
Yeah, might as well just close it down after that.
We're working on a man who I can only describe as a national treasure. The man's a national treasure. And he said he gave us a maybe, or his people gave us a maybe. Trying to accommodate a schedule.
Right.
Type thing. So big things. And we've got Michael Chiavello that Pat Miletich mentioned. He and I have exchanged messages. I gave him a couple of dates, just waiting to hear back. He's on the other side of the globe, so I'd be a little more patient with him. And I know he's traveling all around Asia right now. So yeah, we've got big things possibly coming between now and the end of the year. So
Not bad for Fozzie the Bear.
Right?
No, not bad. Fozzie.
You know what, Ken? It does look. I said earlier, if Chewbacca and Fozzie Bear, it's Fozzie Bear, not Fozzie the Bear. Just so you know.
I thought it was Fozzie the
No,
Bear.
you're thinking Smokey Bear. Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear. Okay.
It could be him too.
I could. Only you can prevent forest
Okay.
fire.
Update on Move. He said Nicolas Cage. No, not Nicolas Cage.
No, not Nicolas Cage.
Update on Move. Well, we got the cards. Here we go.
We were about a week out from getting that website up and running.
We did not, George. You've checked them. You get the mail for the lodge here, right? Because there were some folks that wanted some of these cards. I told them send us a self-addressed stamped envelope, and we'll pop a few back and send them out to them.
A lot of people reach out to me through whatever. Instagram, Facebook, however you guys want to connect with us, Discord, whatever. However you want to connect to us, just shoot us an address, and I'll get them out as soon as possible. We'll probably start with 20 cards per person, and then we'll move from there.
I'm trying to work up a direct to print link from the website. The website should be up probably in the next week or so, depending on how much free time I have. And there will be direct links to those print-on-demand providers so that you can just type in your lodge information, print as many as you want, have them direct shipped to your location.
Brother,
Pretty damn close on that.
Brother Daniel Hernandez. Paisan. He says waka waka. I don't even know what the fuck.
That's Fozzie Bear.
Fozzie Bear. Oh, okay. All right.
Waka waka waka.
So, all right, let's shut it down. Next podcast, I might have something.
I might have something too. We need to talk about something as well.
We got stuff to talk.
I got stuff. I got jokes.
Have to meet.
I got guests.
So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed Memento Mori. If you're interested more about it, I encourage you
And
to
Dance
read
Macabre.
Dance Macabre. They get very extensive, and they're two rabbit holes that you can go down. There's a lot of mosaics. There's a lot of paintings about it. We're only doing this for an hour, so we don't have the time to cover every aspect of it. I encourage everyone to look it up. If you're interested in it, it's a pretty powerful concept. So
Scratching the surface here.
yeah, we put something out there to talk about, but you got to do some homework for yourself if you're really interested in it.
Hey, and happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween. I want everyone to be safe, your children safe, and just be careful because
Fozzie's going to be out there.
Fozzie's
Never
out.
know.
Fozzie's out there.
Should be chased down
Always
by
remember.
Bigfoot.
All right, shut it down. For the Freemasons podcast, I'm your host, Right Worship Brother George Mudry, signing off.
Virtual Brother Joe signing off.
Worshipful Brother Ken, signing off.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night, Facebook.
Good night, Facebook. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.